Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. This is Vintage Poke Openings coming at you with another video, and thank you so much for joining me today because what I've got to show you is so much fun. What you see in front of you right here is the biggest stack of PSA cards I have ever had graded, and what it really is a collection of cards I picked up over the last 2 years or so, specifically my common and uncommon first edition Wizards of the Coast cards. You've seen me open them in some of the first edition packs we've opened on this channel. All of the cards that I have yet to have graded from those packs, I went ahead and did so, along with some Black Star promos that I've collected over the years. So we've got quite a bit of variety for you today. And there was a time, especially a couple of years ago, where getting pretty much any pack fresh first edition Wizards of the Coast cards was profitable. I don't necessarily know if that's the case anymore, but I wanted to get them graded regardless for my collection. So let's get into it and let's take a look at what we have. So first and foremost, probably my favorite card from the batch is this Gem Mint 10 Kids WB Pokemon the First Movie Pikachu promo. You can see the logo right there. This was one of the Black Star promos that I pulled out of a pack, or I should say pulled out of its sealed pack just a couple of videos ago, I believe, actually. And it's in great condition. As you can see, the centering is perfect on the back, or very close to perfect. Very little whitening of any kind, and same thing on the front. I don't know exactly what this card goes for in a 10, but anytime you get a Gem Mint 10 Pikachu, that's great news. And I've actually had pretty good luck, as I believe I've had a Gem Mint 10 base set Pikachu, a Gem Mint 10 base set 2 Pikachu. Now we've got this Black Star promo, so really happy about that card. Just gonna set it off to the side here, and we'll keep going through the batch. Next, we have one of the first edition cards from a jungle pack that I opened 2 summers ago. Was it 3? No, it would have been 2 summers ago, so quite a bit of time ago. Beautiful Sparrow and Gem Mint 10. And as much as this is only a common card, I believe it was the first appearance of Sparrow in the Wizards of the Coast TCG. I don't think they had Sparrow in the base set. I know they had Pidgey for sure, so very, very cool card. Really nice to see 2 Gem Mint 10s right off the bat. However, non-holographic cards are a little bit easier to get in 10. We've got another Gem Mint 10 here from that same jungle pack. It's a Venonat. This happens to be a common. And for those of you who don't know, you see that little black dot there. Anytime you see that on a Wizards of the Coast card, that means it is a common. If you see a diamond, which we're going to see here in a little bit, that's an uncommon. And if it's a star, or what looks to be a star, it is a rare card. There's another PSA 10. Wow, we're having a really good start so far. 4 10s. Nice to see. And this is another card from that jungle pack. This is a Nidoran. And really, any first edition... I'm just kind of surprised I got a 10 because the centering is a little bit heavier on the right here than the left. But, of course, with the back sides, they don't grade it nearly as harshly as the front. And this isn't exactly a crown jewel card here, but really any PSA 10 first edition Wizards of the Coast card will fetch a fair price on eBay because a lot of people are just trying to fill out their collections and they need those 10s to do so. Now this, while it is only a trainer card, is probably one of my favorite trainer cards of all time. It is also a Gem Mint 10 and it is the Pokeball trainer card. And I don't know if it's just the artwork or the fact that it's the original Pokeball, but I think it's such a cool trainer card. Also happens to be, I believe, the only trainer card in the jungle set. In fact, I'm almost positive about that. You can see down here at the bottom, it's 64 out of 64. I believe that was the final card in the set and the only trainer card within jungle. So that makes it a little special as well. All right, so we finally hit our first 9 of the day, and it is a Diglett from Team Rocket, of course, first edition, like all of these cards are going to be. This, I believe, came out of a first edition Team Rocket pack that I bought from TCA Gaming a couple winters ago. I ended up getting a first edition holographic Dark Weezing out of that pack, so I was really happy with it, which I was kind of fortunate actually to pull that because the pack was about $600, so it was a lot of money. And as you can see, we've got another card from that set, Zubat, just a common. They only gave me a 9 on this. And one thing I will say, as I go through these cards, like I look at some of them, and I don't really know the difference between the 9s and the 10s on some of them. Like going back to, what card was it? not the Pokeball, I think it was that Nidoran. It had kind of skewed centering in the back and they still gave it a 10. And there's some other cards in this set where I felt like it was borderline perfect and it didn't get a 10. Like this Oddish at face value is perfect on the front. And on the back, I don't really see any whitening. I mean, maybe a little bit of edge wear up here. And I'm sorry, it's not really focusing very well. Maybe a little bit of edge wear there, but I mean, they could have, as much as I'm appreciative of the 10s I have so far, they definitely could have given me some more. But so there's your Oddish. Another trainer card that I find very cool, also from that Team Rocket pack, the Boss's Way first edition. Got Giovanni on the front there, looking all sinister. And then we've got Dark Machoke, also from that Team Rocket set. So it's interesting how a lot of those jungle cards that we were going through there from that same jungle pack, they were all 10s. And then as we're going through the Team Rockets, they're all 9s. So it almost is like the sheet that they were cut off of was better in the jungle pack than the Team Rocket pack, because there must be one small flaw, whether it's centering or edge wear, that's causing all of these Rocket cards to be a 9. But that's kind of weird because the Dark Weezing that I pulled out of this set was a 10. But then if you watched my previous video, you probably saw like the Dark Dragonair and the Charmander and whatnot ended up being 9. So I don't know how the Holo in that set got a 10 and everything else got a 9. I guess it just was centered a little bit better or something. But there's a Parasect from our jungle pack, so we're jumping back now from that Team Rocket pack to jungle, and I want to say we've only opened one first edition jungle pack on the channel. In fact, I don't think we've opened more than one set in first edition. We've done Gym Heroes, Jungle, Team Rocket, Neogenesis. Maybe that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting one. But anyway, speaking of Gym Heroes, here's one of the Lightning Energy Trainer cards. This one is pretty off on the centering, and if you look kind of up at the top right, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but the cut is not very good. It almost looks a little defective up at the top right-hand corner. And sometimes with the electric Pokemon, it's harder for them to see the skewed centering on the front because of the yellow border mixing with the yellow color, but yeah, there's a little bit of a nick up here, it looks like. So I could see, and down there, I could see this being a 9. Kind of fortunate there, frankly. Now this is awkwardly one of my favorite trainers as well, the Narrow Gym card. I don't know why, it's just kind of a cool artwork and a neat concept. This got a PSA 9, and this of course is from the Gym Heroes pack as well. Yeah, obviously Narrow Gym was not something that was in any of the games, so I think that's maybe why I find it unique as well. Now this is a really cool card from the Gym Hero set. We've got Misty's Starmie, one of the cooler Starmie artworks that is not a holo, of course. And so once again, all of these Gym Heroes cards look to be getting 9s. So I wonder if it was a matter of centering or maybe a matter of whitening on the corners. And usually if you have that on 1 or 2 or 3 of the cards in the set, you're going to see it on a lot of the other cards in the set. So there's Brock Sandshrew, got a 9 on this one as well. Yeah, I'm noticing on a lot of these Gym Hero cards, there's just like a faint nick of white in some of the corners, which is probably what prevented them from getting 10s. And now we go back to the Team Rocket set. We've got a first edition Dark Raticate. I'm pretty sure this is the only common in the set. You can see there, it's got the dot. I think this is the only common in this set that is considered a dark Pokemon. Otherwise, all of the commons in this set are just standard. And then some of the uncommons and of course holos are dark. But I think Dark Raticate is the only dark common card in Team Rocket. Now, this may be the best artwork of any of the trainer cards in WOTC history, in my opinion. Pokemon March. So cool, such a unique artwork, and I'm so happy to get the 10 on it as well. Now, this is one of the first edition cards from the Neogenesis pack. This pack was actually my girlfriend's that she opened on the channel, or I opened it for her, I should say. And then I just bought the cards from her because she wasn't going to get any of them graded. She was really hoping to pull a holo, but the pack was extremely light. I want to say it was like only 20.42 or something like that when we weighed it. So it was highly unlikely that it was going to pull a holo, but ultimately, as much as it's fun to pull holos, I want to be realistic on this channel. And when you're dealing with Wizards of the Coast, you're not going to pull, or any pack in general, you're not going to pull a holo every time. So I do open light packs on this channel because there's fun and there's value to be had in the commons and uncommons and the non-holo rares, just like this Pokemon March card. So you've got Hoppip, looks like Sentret, Mareep, Totodile, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Hoot Hoot. I can't tell, is that Murkrow maybe in the upper left-hand corner? And they're all dancing around a jukebox, just hanging under the tree, enjoying a nice summer day. Very, very cool trainer card, one of my favorites. And kind of another one I'm surprised got a 10 because the centering here on the left is a little thicker than the right. It might be harder for you folks to tell through the video, but if you were in person, it's much more noticeable, so I'm not sure. And here's another card, a trainer card, I should say, from Neogenesis. It's Berry First Edition. And it's kind of funny, I feel like they've given me a 10 on almost every trainer I have had graded. At least in this batch. Which from a value perspective, I mean, the trainers aren't really super valuable, but for those people out there who are trying to complete sets, if you're missing one of these cards and you're interested, go ahead and let me know. I might be willing to sell them depending upon the circumstances. So now here's New Pokédex, another trainer from Neogenesis, got the PSA 10, which is awesome on that. Yeah, I mean, really, in terms of like value, this was probably the most value we ever lost in an opening on this channel, because I think my girlfriend paid 400 something for that Neogenesis pack. And that was back in the peak of kind of COVID and the Wizards of the Coast product soaring. And she sat on it for a long time, was debating on selling it, was debating on opening it. We eventually opened it and it just had hardly anything in it. The rare ended up being Super Energy Retrieval, other than a Cyndaquil, which you're going to see here. You know, numerous trainer cards, as you can see, so not much value, but still, first edition Neogenesis, such a fun set. And hey, you never know, you could have a light pack and you open it up and it's got a first edition Lugia, so we felt it was worth the risk and we had fun sharing it with you guys. Another one of the cards from Gym Heroes, first edition Misty's Horsey. Interesting that we have a 10 on this because a lot of the other cards from Gym Heroes were getting 9. So I wonder, kind of goes back to, like I said, I don't know the difference on some of these between the 9s and the 10s. And here's another 10 from Gym Heroes, first edition Brock's Geodude. So we have 2 10s from that Gym Heroes pack and the rest are all 9s from what I remember. And even, yeah, the Brock, funny enough, the Brock card, Brock Holo that I pulled from that pack, ended up being a PSA 8. So we've got some 8s, some 9s, and some 10s all from the same pack. It just goes to show you that, you know, not every card in the set is going to be graded the same. And here's another energy card, Grass Energy from Neogenesis. They gave this a 9. Not really sure why, because the centering is actually really nice on the front and the back. I don't see any whitening. Yeah, this one's a mystery to me. I mean, like I said, some of the 10s I could argue are 9s, and some of the 9s I could argue is 10. I guess that's kind of the way it goes with these. But all right, now we have our first trainer that didn't get a 10, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Narrow Jim had a 9. I can't remember, but Lieutenant Surge's Treaty, one of the cooler artworks in the Gym Heroes set. You got Lieutenant Surge making a little agreement with Electabuzz there. Really cool card. Lots of cool trainers in the Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge sets. Just really great sets in general. Very large, very diverse. Not like Jungle or Fossil where you could open 5 packs and pull so many duplicates. There was just a lot of variety to the gym sets. I like those a lot. We've got Ledian here from Neogenesis, of course, another first edition. This one I totally agree with the 9 grade. The border's really heavy at the top. As much as Ledian isn't exactly a powerhouse for a Pokemon, I do think it's kind of one of the cooler looking bug Pokemons. It's not as fierce as like Scyther or Pinsir or any of those, but it does have a cool design. We've got a Clefairy here, just sitting on the porch. swinging on his swing set there. That's a 9. And that's an uncommon from Neogenesis. Got an Erica's Gloom from our Gym Heroes, so another Gym Heroes card, and this one is a 9. So like I said, kind of all across the board, we got some 10s, some 9s. Ooh, I forgot about this card actually. So this was another one of the Black Star promos that I opened in a video just a few months ago. And this is one of 3 legendary birds that you can get. You can see here it's called the Aoki error, because if you look down here at the bottom, the illustrator says Toshino Aoki. And I believe that's actually the wrong illustrator for these cards. But funny enough, the error version is actually the more common version. If I'm not mistaken, it's the corrected version that is the appropriate illustrator down here that is actually more rare and more valuable. So this isn't the more special of the two, but still an awesome Moltres artwork. I love the legendary birds. To get a 10 on this is really nice as well. Wouldn't mind getting the Articuno and Zapdos in my collection at some point also. Another one of our Neogenesis cards here, we've got Stantler. I don't know why, but I really like Stantler as a Pokemon. Some of the normal type Pokemon aren't very... Actually, is Stantler only normal? Maybe when he initially came out, he was only normal, but I think he became a hybrid later on, normal and psychic. I could be wrong on that, but I thought he had some kind of psychic edge to him. But anyway, I don't know why I'm using the term him as if these Pokemon have... I guess they do have genders, but you never know which one is which. So, but yeah, this Stantler, cool artwork, cool Pokemon from Neogenesis, pretty much the equivalent of Tauros in the first edition, or the first generation, I should say, of Pokemon. You got Snubbull from Neogenesis as well. Not one of my more favorite cards or more favorite Pokemon, but got a 9 there, so pretty fair grade. And then probably my most favorite card from that Neogenesis pack, you've got Cyndaquil, one of the 3 starter Pokemon, and the better of the 2 Cyndaquil artworks in this set. One unique thing about Neogenesis is they had 2 artworks for all 3 starter Pokemon. You had 2 for Cyndaquil, 2 for Totodile, and then 2 for Chikorita. And this is my more favorite of the 2 Cyndaquil artworks. Would have liked to get the 10 on this because any of these starter Pokemon are actually pretty valuable in 10, but I totally get the grade. The centering is way off on the back, and it's good, but not great on the front, so I understand the 9 there. Next, we've got Natu. If you're familiar with Leonhardt's videos, you know the phrase, Natu, how do you do? Got the 9 on Natu. Couldn't come through with the 10 for me, but that's okay. We've got another Gloom. We had Gloom from the Gym Heroes set earlier, and we've got a Gloom from Jungle. I think this also might have been Gloom's first appearance in Wizards of the Coast as well. I don't recall Gloom being in the base set. Never was a huge fan of this artwork, but it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know why it reminds me of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64. Maybe it's just the artwork or like the graphics, but that's all I think of when I see this artwork. So we got the 9 on that Gloom. Let's see if we can get maybe one more 10 before the end of the video. Got our Bellsprout. Not one of the more glamorous cards from Jungle. Got the 9 there, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, this is another one. Like, the centering looks so nice on the back. I don't see any whitening. It's about as close to perfect as you can get without being perfect on the front. Once again, it'd be kind of cool if they gave you a report when you got your PSA cards back that explained why they felt or why they're justifying the grade. I suppose they don't want to do that because then it opens up for debate and people complaining and getting regrades and whatnot, but it would be nice to know. Kind of surprised here. So out of all these Pack Fresh First Edition cards, almost all of them were 9s or 10s other than our Sabrina's Drowsy here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's at face value, the centering is so nice on the front. Then looking at the back, there's a little bit of dust and dog hair on the back here, but maybe just a faint, oh, no. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk 10, but an 8 is a bit harsh in my opinion. And then lastly, I think I know what this last one is. Yep, there it is, our holographic Black Star promo Mew. Just a beautiful artwork. Probably, well, one of the best Mew artworks in Wizards of the Coast for sure. This we opened in the same video as that Moltres, so not too long ago, and the same video that we had that WB Kids Pikachu. I actually did not open this one from a sealed pack. It's one of the very few times on this channel we purchased a card not from its sealed pack. And I got this because it looked in such nice condition online, and it really was in great condition when I got it too. The centering's perfect on the front. Looking at the back, there's a little dust on it, but almost no edge wear. I definitely expected this to at least get it. Well, you know what? I don't know if you guys can see this. At the bottom right here, I'm trying to get it. There is like a little bit of kind of surface. I can't tell if that's dust or surface damage. But I mean, really, the centering is not too bad on the back as well. I think 7 is pretty harsh. I will say one thing I've noticed with PSA, I've had close to 100 cards graded over the last couple of years, specifically with Wizards of the Coast Pokemon. They definitely grade the higher value cards harsher. Like, you'll notice a lot of those 10s that I got in this batch, with the exception of that Pikachu, not many of them hold a lot of value. But the cards that do hold a lot of value, they will grade you harshly on. And this one, unless there are some print lines that I don't see or scratches on the holofoil, I mean, this one was graded very harshly. But still an awesome card, one of my favorite Black Star promos. And there was one other thing that I wanted to show you folks. I forgot about this. One of these cards, I thought I saw like a print defect in the bottom right-hand corner. I want to say it might have been one of the Glooms. Yeah, here it is. Okay. I failed to mention this because I was talking so fast, but this Erica's Gloom got a 9, and it initially looks pretty good, but if you look at the bottom right, you see that kind of gray spot? That's a printing defect, and especially considering it's on the front of the card, I'm surprised it didn't tank its score. However, maybe that was the only thing that prevented it from getting a 10. Because the backside's pretty nice, but I would have thought that would definitely knock it down to an 8 or so, because that really affects the face value of the card. But ultimately, it's PSA, who really knows, but I'm grateful for the most part for this batch. It was a pretty good batch. We got, I think, 11 10s out of the 35 cards that were graded, which is a pretty good ratio, so I'll take it. But once again, I just have to thank you guys for tuning into this video and supporting the channel. Any kind of comment or like you can add to the video would be greatly appreciated. I always love hearing from you and hearing about what you think about my videos, what you think about my cards, and any questions you may have. If you do want to talk to me personally about any topic in specific, feel free to email me at vintagepokeopenings.com, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.